Hello everyone. Welcome to the online video lecture series for the subject Python application programming for semester 6. So today we'll continue with the part 2 of the chapter 3, that is conditional execution from module 1. So in the previous class we studied about Boolean expressions, logical operators, conditional execution, alternative execution. So today let us start with the remaining topics. So we previously studied about ELIF, that is else if statement. It is an abbreviation for else if. Again, exactly here, only one branch will be executed. So here you can see if x is less than y, so less will be printed. If x is greater than y, greater will be printed. If both are not true, then x is equal to y will be printed. So either one of these statement will be printed. There is no limit for number of elif statements, so we can have as many as elif statements. Only the end clause should be else clause. So the next topic is nested conditionals. So here we are going to use the if statements within the if statements. So in this example, you can observe that we have the if statement within an if statement. So this is also possible in Python programming with nested conditionals. So one condition can be nested within another. So this is one condition which can be nested within this condition. So that is the example for nested conditionals. So here in this example, it is about if x is equal to y. So two operands are compared here. So if it is true, then x and y are equal. If this is not true, it goes to the else part. So in the else part, we have one more condition, that is if x is less than y. So that is if the value of x is less than y, then x is less than y will be printed. Again, if this condition becomes false, so then it goes to the else part, that is x is greater than y will be printed. So this is the pictorial representation for the nested conditionals, nested if statements. So here we have one condition represented in a rhombus in the flow chart. So here you can see this is the condition x is equal to y. If this condition becomes false, so the condition within that condition will be executed. So if this should be false, so then only this condition will be executed. If this condition is true, so that is yes, so it will be printing that x and y are equal. If this is false, so it goes to another condition, that is x less than y. If this condition is true, it prints less. If this condition is false, it prints greater. The next topic is the usage of try and except, that is catching the exceptions. So here generally in programming languages, so we write the code. So if there is any error, so if there is any error in the logic, suppose a file cannot be opened or something like that, if we don't give that in the program, so then we get an error in the runtime, so which can be cumbersome, which we may not be able to understand that particular error. So that is why we have to give mention that exclusively that you are not supposed to do that. Otherwise it cannot open the file or anything like that. So otherwise, for another example, like if you enter an integer for a character, so then you'll get an error. Or if you enter a number, an integer for a character, or a character for integer, so vice versa, then you'll get an error. So instead of understanding the error in while runtime, so we can exclusively mention that in the program using the try and except. So this concept is called as catching exceptions. So here is a sample example to demonstrate the usage of try and except. So you can see here this particular program here converts the Fahrenheit temperature to degree Celsius. So this is the formula to convert the Fahrenheit temperature to degree Celsius, that is Fahrenheit minus 32 into 5 by 9. And once after the computation it prints the Celsius, that is after converting the degree to Celsius, the Fahrenheit to degree Celsius, it prints the degrees. So this is a normal program. So what happens here is instead of the user giving the input as an integer, if he gives the input as a character, so then let us see what will be the error in the runtime. So here you can see this is the normal execution. So enter the, when we execute this program called as faren.py, so the program asks the user to enter the Fahrenheit temperature. The user enters 72, so that is in normal execution. So because we are supposed to enter either floating point or integer, so we get this degrees. But if the user enters Fred instead of integers, so then he gets this particular error. So that is could not convert string to float Fred. So which you cannot understand. So which is a little bit confusing. So instead of that, if we change the program, if we modify the above program, so you can see the changes in the output here. So we let us just modify the program using the try and except concept. So here you can see we can rewrite our temperature converter as follows. So input, enter the Fahrenheit temperature. The user is asked to enter the Fahrenheit temperature. So here try. So we have the formula to convert the Fahrenheit to degree Celsius. So here is the except part, which tells the user that you have to enter number only. For such the computations, you have to enter number only. So the character type of input is not allowed here. So that is where the use of try and except comes into picture. So when we execute this program, you can see exclusively the program telling the user that you are not supposed to enter the characters instead of integers. So here you can see in the normal execution, so the user enters 72 as Fahrenheit temperature. So the output is returned as degree Celsius. So in another example, so here we have the user entering Fred instead of an integer or a floating point value. So you can see the user gets an exception here telling him that you have to enter a number only, not character. So it should be either a floating point number or an integer number only. So that is the demonstration of try and catch, try and except for exceptions. And the last topic in this chapter 3 is short circuit evaluation of logical expressions. So when Python is processing a logical expression such as x greater than equal to and x divided by y greater than 2, so it evaluates the expression from left to right. So because the definition is x less than 2, then expression x greater than equal to is false, and so the whole expression is false. So regardless of whether x by y is greater than 2, it evaluates to true or false. So when Python detects that there is nothing to be gained by evaluating the rest of the logical expression, it stops its evaluation and does not do the computations in the rest of logical expressions. So when the evaluation of logical expression stops because the overall value is ready, it's known as short circuiting the evaluation. So this short circuiting behavior leads to a clever technique called as Gaussian pattern. So we'll see the example for that here. So this is the example in the for the previous explanation. So here you can see the x greater than equal to true 2 and x divided by y greater than 2. So these are the two expressions that has to be evaluated. So here the value of x is 6 and the value of y is 2. So the first expression is true because the value of x is 6. 6 is greater than equal to 2. So 6 is greater than 2. So this is true and it goes to the next expression, that is x divided by greater than 2. So that is 6 divided by 2, which is greater than 2. Yes, that is also true. So if both the expressions are true, because it is AND logical operator, so both the expressions should be true, then only the output true Boolean operator will be returned. So here in the second case, so you can see here x is equal to 1 and y has the value 0. So the first expression here, x greater than equal to true, will become false. So this becomes false. So what does Python does is, so once the first expression is false, so it does not evaluate the rest of the expression. Why? Because already this is false. So AND operator and logical operator tells that both the expressions should be true, then only the expression, overall logical expression, will be true. So but this is false. If either of one of the expression is false in AND logical operator, the whole expression becomes false. So that is why the Python does not evaluate the rest of the expression. So here you can see again we have the y is equal to 0, that is division by 0 error. So suppose x is greater than equal to 2. So you can see x holds the value 6. So 6 is greater than 2. So that is true and it comes to the second expression. So here you can see y is 0. Y, the value of y is 0. So this leads to division by 0 error. So instead of going to the second expression, so priorly if we tell that y is equal to 0, so if we include that expression here somewhere, so we can stop executing the rest of the logical expression. So that is nothing but a guardian pattern for the short circuit evaluation. So we have to include a guardian pattern so that the rest of the expression is not evaluated by the Python. So the third calculation failed because Python was evaluating x by y and y was 0, which causes a runtime error. So but did not fail because first part of the expression x greater than equal to 2 evaluated to false, so that x by y was not ever executed due to short circuit rule. So we will see that how to include a guardian pattern here. So here the guardian pattern here is y not equal to 0. So here you can see x holds the value 6 and y holds the value 0. So this first expression evaluates true because 6 is greater than 2, and y not equal to 0 evaluates to false because y is equal to 0. So the Python program does not evaluate the rest of the expression, that is x divided by y greater than 2, because y is already 0 here. So it gives the output as false. So if we don't include this guardian pattern here, suppose we exchange the guardian pattern here, so then we get the division by 0 error, which leads more of time consumption here because it has to evaluate each one of the expression here. So that is why this guardian pattern is very, very important, and the placement of the guardian pattern is also important for short circuit evaluation of logical expression. So this is the end of the chapter 3, that is conditional execution. Thank you.